Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am the Channeling Goddess. So today we have two piles here, so pick a card. Piles. So we have, the first one is the Mary Magdalene card. So it says the apostle to the apostles. It says, I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. And then we have Kuan Yin. It says the goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. So we have two piles here. Please feel free to look down in the description for timestamps if that's what you're looking for. Also, if you are looking for a specific message and you want this message to resonate with you specifically, it's best to help tap in. The best way to do this is by tapping into your own intuition. And the way that I like to do this is by taking 3 mindful deep breaths. You want to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 3, and exhale for 5 to 6 seconds. This just helps you get more in touch with your own intuition and helps you find messages or hear the messages that are meant specifically for you. Okay. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and get started and I'll see you in your pile. Bye. Hello, pile number 1. So you chose the Mary Magdalene card. So it says, the apostle to the apostles. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. So I'm going to read this one out of the book because this one is relatively new to me. These are some new cards that I just got. So I want to make sure that we get a good understanding of what kind of divine feminine energy is coming in for pile number 1. Okay, so it says, Mary Magdalene embodies the capacity we all have to merge with the soul and receive divine guidance through a love that never ends. Mary was born in the 1st century in Magdala, Israel. She was the first to witness the resurrection and for this reason is revered in Christianity as the apostle to the apostles. In the meaning of Mary Magdalene, author and Episcopal priest Cynthia Burgault relates that the Gospel of Thomas, Philip, and Mary Magdalene all reveal Mary not only as Jesus' beloved companion, but also as an equal partner in teaching and transmission. Burgault believed that Mary Magdalene's gospel contained a secret teaching that Christ gave to Mary so that she could pass through the 7 stages to reach the soul of the nous, which is the highest point of the soul. And it is this union with her soul that allows Mary to see the risen Christ. Okay? It says, when you select this card, so it says Mary Magdalene represents the fierce, unwavering love that we all have access to within our own vulnerable hearts. It's a love that renders all things sacred, from the animals to the angels, from the poorest to the most powerful. It's a love that sees the inherent worth of all things, and it's love that remains even through the darkest times. Even through death, her love is the one that resurrects. Okay, so Mary Magdalene reminds us that we have the power to receive vision from within. We are worthy of such proximity to the divine because that's the other half of what it means to be truly human. She reminds us that there's a bridge between heaven and earth and that we are that bridge. And she wants us to remember that the truest church we can ever enter is in the heart. This is where our true power rests and where love never ends. Okay, so pile number 1, let's talk a little bit about it. Okay, we're gonna get some cards, but let's just dive into this card. For some of you, you may be pregnant. That may be a sign that this is your pile, because this egg made me think about like fertility and rebirth. For others of you, you may be pregnant with an idea. There may be some new things that's coming in for you. So that's what I'm getting first. And I just heard, first seek ye the kingdom of God and all these things will be added to you. I think it's first seek ye the kingdom of God and his righteousness and all these things will be added to you. So I don't know if somebody needs to hear that, but I just heard that in my head. So let's go back. So Mary, this energy is a lot about love, right? We can see that in the text from the actual guidebook, right? It says, I'm the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. I think a lot of us are going through a spiritual journey. For pile number 1, I think we're all going through a spiritual journey right now, but some of us may be a little bit unbalanced, right? We may be more on the divine side and more on the human side. And sometimes we forget that we are both, right? Sometimes we forget that we are in this world, but not of it, right? And there needs to be, Spirit is asking you to balance out how you talk to yourself. I'm hearing that. Balance out how you talk to yourself. But there's also, you need to love on yourself a little bit more. Be more honest with yourself about like who you truly are. Because I think a lot of times we talk down to ourselves and we say things that we really don't mean. Or some of us, we mean it, but it's not the truth of who we are. Okay. And Mary Magdalene is asking you to love on yourself a little bit more. Understand that love, some of us, we give so much love to other people that we forget about ourselves, right? We forget to give that same love to ourselves. In this card, Mary Magdalene is asking you to be more open to the human as well as the divine that is within you, to learn to balance that thing, to balance those out. You may be a Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. But I would definitely say part of the divine message, the divine feminine message that's coming in for pile number 1 is that you need to learn balance. You need to learn love of self. You need to learn self-care of oneself, because you've forgotten what that feels like. I don't know if you've been looking out for everybody else that you've forgotten you. And Mary Magdalene is asking you to find a balance in this, okay? Let's get you some tarot cards. Spirit, can we get a couple of tarot cards, please? For pile number 1. Yeah, I'm hearing there's a song. I can't think of who sings it, but what does she say? We're all flawed, beautiful people. We're all flawed. It's beautiful creatures. I think it's flawed. I think the song is called Flawed Beautiful Creatures, I think. Some of us, we don't understand that there's beauty in our flaws, right? And I think we forget that we're human as well as divine, right? And that's important that we understand that we are both, okay? And then you have the 8 of Cups. It says hopeless, drifting, withdrawal, trying one more time, indecision, aimless, drifting, walking away, stagnant, okay? Some of you may have wanted to walk away from something, but maybe, okay, I'm getting this message. Maybe for some of you, this could be either or, right? So take it if it resonates. Either you are trying to walk away from something, or you want to walk away from something, and you haven't done that yet. And it could be because maybe one part of your human side is saying stay, while your divine side is saying you need to leave this, and you're feeling a little bit hopeless. Some of you may feel like there's a lot of indecision. You don't know which decision to make. You don't know which way to go, right? And it's causing you to feel like you're drifting, like out on the sea, just floating on driftwood, because you can't make a decision, right? You're running around or walking around aimlessly because you haven't found that balance. Because if you had found that balance, you would understand that maybe whatever this is that you're talking about walking away from, it's a good thing, okay? And then we have the Hierophant. So it says rebellion, contempt, withholding, subservience, freedom, personal beliefs, challenging the status quo. Yeah, for some of you, you may not want to walk away because what you're walking away from is actually going to completely change the status quo. You may be walking away from family. You may be walking away from tradition, things that you've always known. Like the Hierophant to me talks about tradition. You may be walking away from tradition, or want to, right? For some of you, you haven't done this. For some of you, you want to walk away from tradition, but you're holding yourself back from walking away from the things that you've known, but Spirit is asking you to rebel. Some of you, this part of this is your rebellion. Part of this is you stepping more into your own independence. Some of you, this could be specifically about your spirituality. Maybe you're going from Christianity to something else, and it feels a little bit rebellious, and maybe that's why you're drifting a little bit. But Spirit is saying this rebellion is good for you. Because look what's coming out from after this rebellion, right? You got the 10 of Cups. So it says belonging, happiness, fulfillment, divine love, blissful relationships, harmony, alignment, family reunions. Yes, some of you, you're going to find your soul family. You've been in a situation where it could be a situation where you're like, I've been doing this all my life because my mom did it, my grandma did it, my auntie did it, my father did it, my grandfather did it, right? And something about that is making it hard for you to make this decision to walk away. And Spirit is saying that rebel, like this rebellion is going to be so good for you because you're going to find the place where you belong. You're going to find true happiness and true love. Because I know that Mary Magdalene card talks about love. Some of you, you're going to find the love of your life by rebelling. And I know it sounds weird, because maybe you've been taught like, I just got to be a good Christian girl or a good Christian boy, and then I'll find the person that I'm meant to be with, blah blah blah, right? And something about your rebellion is going to like almost reset your whole like atmosphere. Is going to reset the way you think about yourself, the way you see things. And I just saw 4 so keep that in mind. And then you got the Knight of Cups in the reverse. So it says manipulative, unreliable, untrustworthy, overreactive, imagination, unrealistic, jealous, moody, heartbreak, cheating, deception. Yeah, some of you, this is where you're in right now. You're feeling manipulated. You feel like that your family or your boyfriend, I just heard boyfriend, or your friends or your mom, they're unreliable. Some of you may have just found out that someone is cheating on you, and you may have grown up in a household where it's like, well, just stick it out, everybody makes mistakes, you could just like stay and everything will be fine. And you're like, no, I don't want to do this. But you're also drifting, right? You feel hopeless, you feel like you don't know what you want to do. But the truth is, you do know what you want to do, you're just afraid to do it. And I understand that, like, no shade here. I completely understand like what that fear is like, to walk away from something that you've always known. But this rebellion is going to be the best thing for you. And then you have the Hermit card. So it says isolation, withdrawal, loneliness, hastiness, rash, paranoia, sadness, acts of foolishness, immaturity. Yeah, some of you, this is what you feel like. You're afraid to take this step because you're feeling like you may be acting a little bit too rash, like you're not thinking this through. And Spirit is saying you are, right? But if you need a little time to think things through, to make sure that you're making the right decision, that's okay as well. But don't stay like, just let yourself like, because the vision that I'm getting in my head is somebody laying flat on their back on a piece of driftwood in an endless ocean, right? Some of you, that's where you feel like there's no lifeline. You feel like there is no boat coming to save you. And I think you being in this energy of like, oh, I'm just not gonna think about it, whatever the case may be, you're drifting along. Instead of like lifting up your head, if you lift up your head, you'll see that there's a boat on its way to you. If you lift up your head, you'll see that there's something coming to save you, something to come to help you. But it's going to take you stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's going to take you not drifting along aimlessly. You may have even withdrawn from a lot of people recently. But Spirit is saying sometimes withdrawing from your surroundings is the best thing for you. Like, seriously, rebel a little bit, pile number one. Let's get you a couple of cards from the Fantasy Oracle deck. Okay, so we got the Runaway. Secrets, running from problems. Yep. And then you got the Merchant. So it says self-worth and trade. And then your bottom deck energy is the Patron. So it says mentorship, finances. Okay, let's talk about it, pile number one. So your first card is Runaway, right? I mean, self-explanatory, right? Spirit is saying you need to run. Like, and for some of you, you see this as running from your problems. You're not. You're running from things that no longer serve you. But staying is the problem. Staying where you are is where the problem lies. You need to get out of this situation. You need to set yourself free. Just like this cage here, you need to set yourself free. Release yourself from the shackles that you've put yourself in. Okay? Like, okay. So let's say you grew up a certain way, right? If you're an adult now, then you get to change this. You get to shift how you see yourself. You get to shift out of whatever this energy is, but you have to change, okay? And then we have the Merchant. So it says self-worth, trade. Some of you, you've been giving away your power. And then I say some of you may be a Libra. The scales here just brought that back to me. Anyway, some of you have been giving away your power. And I'm specifically seeing, like, I think is it Snow White? Where she eats the apple. To me, like, for something about that is significant for you, where someone is feeding you something. They fed you a lie or some particular thing that they want you to believe, and you're taking a bite out of it, right? You are putting your self-worth you're basing your self-worth off of what this person is giving you, what this person is saying to you, what you've traded and what you've given away. You've given away your power to this person, and Spirit is saying you need to take your power back, right? This act of rebellion is how you take your power back. This act of rebellion is how you find your happiness, okay? And then you got the patron, so it says mentorship, finances. There may be a mentor that may come in for you to help you, like give you some guidance on how to get out of this situation. Because some of you may be like, I'm in a situation where I cannot get out of it, right? I'm stuck, right? Spirit is saying that you are going to get a mentor that's going to come, but something about the swords in the hands makes me think of there may be a sacrifice that you may need to make. And to me, this feels like a sacrifice of mine. And I don't know why, but this little piece right here is reminding me of the Hermit. So this person may be a recluse. This person that you meet, this mentor might be a recluse. Listen, just take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, leave it here. This person could be, okay. This person could look like a recluse. For some of you, this person is actually a recluse. But some of you, this person could look like it, but they could actually be pretty wealthy. For others of you where this message does not resonate, by you rebelling and releasing yourself from this, your finances that have been on hold, because some of you felt like your finances were on hold, that is going to be changing for you, right? But you need to free yourself, right? Some of you, I don't know if you want to start your own business and maybe your family wants you to stick with the family business. I'm getting that. For others of you, it could be that you went to school to be a lawyer or a doctor or, I don't know, a carpenter. I don't know. But your family, you did it because of your family's expectations. And maybe it's something completely different that you want to do. You want to start your own business. You want to start a dance company. I don't know. Like you want to write a book. You want to build bird cages. But your family is they're not in support of this. And Spirit is saying you won't walk away from the things that they want you to do so that you can do the things that you need to do. And you need to rebel. Seriously, pile number one, you need to just almost go off your hinges at this point. Like, let the chips fall where they may. Like, you need to really, like, the saying that you need right now is, it is what it is, right? You need to just let the chips fall where they may. You need to turn this 8 of Cups upright and walk away, because walking away, where you're going to run into the 10 of Cups. You got to rebel though, because you're stuck and you're wondering why you haven't been able to progress. You're wondering why you haven't been able to move forward. It's because you've been holding yourself back because of others' expectations of yourself. You've forgotten how to love you. You've forgotten how to be one with yourself. You've forgotten about balance. Okay, let's get you a couple of cards. Okay, and then you have the care card. So there's a crab right here. And then let's get one more card. Yeah, some of you, Spirit is asking you to care about yourself. Yep, you're going to heal. Moving away from this, you're going to heal yourself. Look at this. Balance. Like, some of you are definitely a Libra, but Spirit is asking you to balance out your own energy. Spirit is saying that there needs to be a balance between what their expectations of you are, and what your own expectations of yourself are. Because you've leaned solely to one side and you've forgotten about you. You've forgotten about the things that make you happy. You've forgotten about the things that you've always wanted to do, like the visions that you've had for yourself. And Spirit is saying, like, the time has come now for you to move out of this energy. Okay, let's get you, I want to get you a card from the Isis Oracle deck. We're going to read it from the guidebook as well, but we want to see what other divine feminine messages that Spirit has for you. Spirit, can we get one card from the Isis deck, please? Pile number one, I'm hearing is it Beyonce? Beyonce has a song called I Care. I know you don't care too much, but I still care. You need to listen to that song. It's coming through, so there may be a message in that song for you. Spirit, can we get one card, please? For pile number one. Just one. Oops. Way too many cards. Pile number one, your energy may be stubborn. You may even be listening to this reading, thinking to yourself, like, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know how hard it is for me to walk away. You don't know my parents. There's a line in Cinderella, where Brandy plays Cinderella, where she said, you don't know my stepmother. And Whitney Houston says, you want to know what her problem is? She can't handle how fabulous you are. That's some of y'all's story. That is your story, okay? Okay, so the card that came out is Soul Retrieval. So it says Deep Soul Healing with the Goddess. So I'm going to read this one out of the book. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole book, but I'm going to show a picture so you can actually, like that. It's page number 1. Okay, page number 2. Actually, I'll put them both here. Page number 2 and 3. So I'm going to start here. That's what I'm going to read from, okay? So it says, forgiveness can be a good place to begin the work more consciously. This is hard spiritual work sometimes because we can want to be right or justified in what we feel or perceive, and we don't want to be harmed again by allowing inappropriate behavior. In the action of forgiveness, you are simply reclaiming your energy from the situation, person, or experience so that it is at your disposal instead of being trapped in the soul energy field. What is most likely to occur is that the person, place, or situation will simply fall away from your life and be released. See, you got to release some of these people. Seriously. You are not willing to open yourself up to attack, and you will be wiser and stronger for your forgiveness and the ability that forgiveness gives you to reclaim your spirit. You will have more energy, and with no further effort, you will actually move on, not just in mind or body, but in spirit. Yes, you need to move on. Like, seriously, you got to release this and move on. Spirit is saying it's okay to let go. Like, forgive yourself. Like, in forgiving them, you forgive yourself. In forgiving yourself, you forgive them. Okay. Then it says, this oracle, it also indicates that you have healing ability, that you are capable of channeling soul energy to help others forgive and reclaim their spirit too. Yep. By you forgiving yourself, they will forgive themselves. Okay. The more you base your work in unconditional love, okay, where was I? Yeah, the more you base your work in unconditional love, which is the true nature of the soul, the more powerful your work will become for yourself and for others in service. Your healing gift is quite deep. And if you are interested in working in a healing capacity with others or wondering if this is the right calling for you, then this card serves as a confirmation for you. Some of you, didn't I talk about like you want to do something different than what your family did? For some of you, you may want to be a Reiki practitioner. You may want to go into the healing arts. You may want to go into holistic medicine. That could be a sign for you. If it's not, it's okay. But for some of you, that's very specific for you. Okay. It says the oracle of soul retrieval also brings a special message for healers. Sometimes in your deep work with others, your desire to be of service can drain you if you're not carefully cleansing your energy field. If you have pulled this card together with a pyramid of light, which you did, because this is your bottom deck energy. Look at that. I'm going to leave it here since it came out. If you have pulled this card together with a pyramid of light or the pillar of light cards, then you are encouraged to do a swift and thorough psychic and spiritual cleansing each evening and morning for the next several weeks until you feel more of yourself again. You will notice the thoughts and feelings of others becoming less intrusive. This is unconditional loving. Your clients will gain more strength in learning to feed their own energy field rather than feeding off yours, and you will gain more strength in the process too. It can be hard to work to change patterns of professional and energetic dependency, but it is worth the effort so that you do not become drained and unable to continue your path as a healer. This guidance applies usually to those that are not formal healers, but tend to attract those seeking guidance and support informally into their lives. Okay. So for some of you, you really are meant to be a healer. Some of you, you're already a healer, and your family may be asking you to do something different. Spirit is saying you're on the right path. What you're doing right now is exactly what you're supposed to do. Spirit is not looking for you to shift and do something else. What you're doing, what it is that you want to do is exactly what you need to do, right? You've been living the life that they, or whoever this is, or it could even be you could be living a life that you felt like, oh, this is what I'm doing this because somebody else told me to do it, and you haven't really tapped into your own healing energy. Some of you really have the power to heal others, but it's going to start with healing yourself. You got to care for your own self. Okay, let's get you some meditation cards or a meditative message from the divine feminine energy of Mary Magdalene. Let's get one. Can we get one card, please, Spirit? One final card or final message. You have accept change. Yep. Change becomes not an obstacle, but a stepping stone on your journey towards self-discovery and personal evolution. And then your bottom deck energy is embrace uncertainty. Yes, some of you, this is very uncertain. Like, you know what it feels like, but it's so uncertain. You don't know, like, if you can do this, but the winds of change are blowing. Something about this right here makes me think of the winds of change. So it says, choosing to welcome uncertainty opens the door to profound healing by allowing you to release the need for rigid control. Yeah, let go of the control. There's nothing like, listen. You got to learn to balance, right? Let go of the way people are controlling you, but also how you're letting them control you. And I want you to see this. In both of these cards, there's such duality here. Look at this one and then look at this one. Do you see this? Some of you are definitely a Libra, like you could be a Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. But there is such dualities here. You need to find a balance, pile number one. And once you find that balance, you're going to be fine, because in finding that balance, something about this, you finding that balance is going to be you finding you. Something about you finding this balance is going to be the retrieval of your soul, not the soul that somebody else wants you to have, the actual soul that is meant for you. And when I mean by soul, I mean the essence of who you are, like your actual true calling. Something about letting go of the expectations of others or other people, other things, other places. Letting go of those expectations is really going to step you into a place of just like really beautiful change. You're going to go from this to this, right? Do you see how beautiful that is? See how flowing, how like it looks like spring to me. For some of you, this may happen for you in spring. So keep that in mind, okay? So pile number one, this is all of the messages that I have for you. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you next time in your next video. Bye. Pile number two, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Kuan Yin. So it says the goddess of compassion. It says, I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Okay. So I'm going to read this one from the book. These are some new cards. I want to make sure we get all the messages that we can. I'm not going to read all of it, but I will read some of it. Okay. So the Kuan Yin card says, Kuan Yin represents the presence that listens deeply to our prayers spoken from the heart. Okay. It says Kuan Yin is an incarnation of Avalokitesvar, the Bodhisattva of compassion. She is known as the goddess of mercy and is considered to be the most beloved Buddhist deity. Her name translates in Chinese as the one who perceives the cries of the world. She is often compared to the Virgin Mary in Christianity, because she intercedes on behalf of those who call out to her with humility and sincerity. Kuan Yin is the deep medicine that comes simply from being willing to bear witness to someone else's pain. To really listen, we have to move from the ego to the soul, so that the story we are listening to doesn't become about us or trigger us. This also applies to the moments when we are listening to the story we tell ourselves about who we are. We are often very harsh and less forgiving to ourselves than we could ever be to someone else. Kuan Yin suggests that we listen simply with curiosity. Curiosity allows us to detach from needing to take the suffering of someone we love personally. Curiosity is a door that leads to compassion. It frees us from feeling as though we have to react to what we hear or defend and explain our part in their suffering. We can just perceive the pain that they are in, or we can finally hear our own cries of despair and not seek to judge or justify them. We can just be present so what needs to be heard. So we can be present for what needs to be heard. Kuan Yin is the powerful energy of giving witness to our own or to someone else's suffering. Often, just a calm, abiding presence of compassion is all that is needed to transform that suffering into clear light. Okay. So pile number 2, to me, this is talking about you could have, okay, first you could have come from pile number 1 because we had Mary Magdalene in pile number 1, but her energy was also, that reading was also about like healing as well. For pile number 2, this feels a lot about you need to have a little bit more compassion for yourself. I don't know if something has happened and you've been very hard on yourself. You haven't really been willing to see like the compassion within yourself. Some of you, I'm going to say this, some of you, it feels like you're more willing to have compassion for others, but you lack that compassion when it comes to you. You don't think you deserve compassion, and Spirit is asking you to be the observer of your own energy. Some of you, this is external, but for a lot of you, I'm feeling this. Spirit is asking you to be the observer of your own energy. Be the observer of how you speak to yourself. Be the observer of how things feel within you. Show compassion for yourself, because I think oftentimes, pile number 2, you will give grace to probably the people who don't deserve it, and yet you will not give that same grace to yourself. You will not give it to yourself, okay? And this reading, this divine feminine reading, is all about you giving grace to yourself, you giving compassion to yourself for the things that are happening. Not everything is going to be perfect. Not everything is going to, flow like, sweet grass or daisies in the wind. It is going to take time. And you may even be going through a transformation, because there's a butterfly here. You may be going through a transformation, and it may not have been as easy as you thought it was going to be. And Spirit is asking you to have a little bit more compassion for yourself. Be patient with yourself throughout this process, because Spirit is being patient with you. Okay. Let's get you some tarot cards. Okay. Your first one is the Chariot upright. So there's definitely some forward movement in your energy, pile number 2. Let's get you some more cards. Spirit, can we get some more cards for pile number 2, please? Any additional divine feminine messages that they need to hear? Okay, how many is this? That's too many. We're going to keep shuffling. Okay. I think this is your card. Okay, so we have the 5 of Swords. Okay, let's keep going. Spirit, can we get a couple more cards, please? Thank you. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Some of you might feel like you're going through a storm right now. I don't know why these cards, the imagery of these cards is making me think about a storm right now. And then you have the 8 of Swords. And what is this? The King of Wands in the reverse. And your bottom deck energy is the 4 of Cups. Okay. Okay, pile number 2. So your first card is the Chariot. So there's definitely a lot of forward movement happening for you right now. It could be because of this transition that you're going through. You may feel like it's going full steam ahead. You may even feel like it's going too fast. And I can assure you, the Chariot is the card that, to me, talks a lot about being in control, having the reins, knowing how to move, knowing where to go, and being guided in the right direction, right? Having that power. Now, if this was in the reverse, that would be different, but it is upright. So to me, even though it may seem tumultuous, it may seem like it's out of hand, it's not, right? Spirit has everything in hand. You got the second card, which is the 5 of Swords. To me, I feel like maybe this feels like you're trying to fight your own battles. And some of you, you may have recently felt betrayed by someone. You may have put your trust in someone, and maybe that's why this transition is so hard for you. For others of you, you may have put your trust in Spirit and it did not turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out in the beginning. So now you're a little bit more hesitant to do whatever to move through this transition with ease, and you may be fighting it. Some of you may be fighting this transition. I don't know why, but these 2 people here in the background makes me think of like your spirit guides are trying to guide you, but you're fighting every message that they're giving you. You're fighting every like sign, synchronicity, whatever the case may be, you're fighting it. And if you stop fighting it, you're going to move through this transition very easily to the Ace of Pentacles, right? Which is a new beginning. This new beginning is like, it's been, to me, this thing right here makes me think of it like it's written in the stars, like it's unavoidable. You have to go through this, right? And while yes, it's probably not the easiest thing to deal with, I think it's not as easy to deal with because you are fighting it. You need to stop fighting. You need to put your sword down and let it go. Like you got the Eight of Swords here. To me, it's like you're putting yourself in bondage. You're like, you are harming your own self because you won't let go, right? You won't sit in this King of Wands energy in the upright and let things come to you. You are a king, right? Or queen, whatever you resonate with, right? We're not gender specific here, okay? But then you have, like, Spirit is saying that you are not letting yourself be guided, right? Think of like right here, you got these two horses in the front. Not saying that your ancestors are horses, but think of the horses like they're helping to keep the chariot stable, right? They're helping to guide you. Something about you may have some ancestors on both sides, the paternal and maternal side, who are trying to help you, but you're fighting this change. Even look right here where we got the Four of Cups right here. There's a cup being handed to this person, but they're so busy looking over here and only thinking about, well, I only have 3 cups, that they're missing out on the messages that their ancestor is trying to give them. I feel like this is for you, pile number 2. You are missing out on the message that is being given to you. You may also be seeing ascended masters in your dreams. For some of you, this message in this, like this help, is coming from an ascended master, but you won't open yourself up to like listening to whatever this is, like being more open to the messages that's being sent to you from your ancestors. It could be your ancestors, it could be your spirit guides, it could be your angels, or just like purely divine feminine energy that is around you. For some of you, like for this, the door to romance to be under this deck, some of you, this is about love. You will have the opportunity to be in a relationship, and you may not, and this is probably why the Kuan Yin is here. I don't know why I was going to say Quinn Yan. Kuan Yin is here. And it's probably because you need to be a little bit more compassionate about yourself. Have some compassion. Some of you, you're talking very rough and very mean to yourself, maybe about your appearance, maybe about how you look, and you're like, this person will never want me, right? You're putting yourself in the Eight of Swords. You're like, this person will never want me. I don't bring anything to the table. And Spirit is saying you are the King of Wands. You bring so much to the table, but this new beginning is going to depend on you. And if you don't open yourself up, you're going to miss out on something that's right in front of you, okay? Let's get you a couple of cards from the Energy Oracle deck. Spirit, can we get 2 cards from the Energy Oracle deck, please? For pile number 2. Pile number 2, some of you may be envious of what others have. And Spirit is saying, like, have some compassion for yourself. Like you are on your own journey, okay? The things that are meant for you, they will come for you. Like, there will be things that you'll see other people have that it's not for you. That's not yours. That's why you're not having it. It's not yours. As much as you may want it, you don't know what that person had to go through to get that thing. You know what I mean? Let's get you 2 cards. Spirit, can we get 2 cards for pile number 2, please? Okay. We have the 7th chakra, which is Archangel Uriel. Let's get you one more card. Uh-oh. And then you have the Thinking Man. And I just saw 1111. So for some of you, Archangel Uriel, but also Metatron may be reaching out to you. That's always my sign for him. And then the bottom deck energy is the 6th chakra, Archangel. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize that. So the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. So definitely look up Archangel Uriel as well as Metatron, because they could have some messages for you. But let's just dive into this, okay? So for some of you, part of this journey is opening up your crown chakra here, as well as your 3rd eye. And you may be getting some messages in your dreams from both of these angels. You may also... Okay, so this Thinking Man here makes me think about maybe you are the type who overthinks. Maybe you let your mind run amok, and Spirit is asking you to maybe tap a little bit more into meditation. Maybe go to your altar a little bit more. Sit in silence. If you need to, maybe get a pen and a tablet, and then when you get, like, when you're sitting there in silence, whatever comes, I don't care if something as simple as the bird is red, write it down, because you don't know what that message might be. It could have something to do completely different with an actual bird that's being read, but you may have there may be a message there for you. And sometimes you need to get your thoughts out on paper so that other things can come through for you, because some of you may also be tapping into the Akashic records. And if I'm not mistaken, Archangel Metatron is like the keeper of the Akashic record. So you may be tapping into that. You may have seen a dream where you went into this place and it looked like a library and there were people in there floating. Like, I'm just getting that, telling you what I'm getting. But for some of you, the divine energy that's coming around for you is that you need to have a little bit more compassion for yourself throughout this journey. Things are not going to be perfect, right? But they will move seamlessly if you allow your ancestors to guide you, if you allow the angels around you to guide you. So seriously, look up Archangel Uriel. You may have seen some signs of this angel and you're not aware of that. Also, Archangel Metatron, like 1111. I recently found out, like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, that 1111 is also a sign that Archangel Metatron may be trying to reach out to you and get in touch with you. So that may be something that you need to look into, okay? Let's get you some other cards. Let me get you some other cards. Let's get you... Spirit, can we get some other cards for pile number 2? Pile number 2, if you... because I feel like I have to sneeze. If you feel like you're coming down with something, make sure you take some medicine, okay? Or tea or whatever it is that helps you get better, okay? So then we have creator. So it says your creativity is your superpower on your path to prosperity, okay? Some of you may be asked to take a more creative path. You may be working a 9-to-5 job. I would not be surprised if by June you're no longer working that job. Would not be surprised. And that may be what you're fighting. You're like, oh my God, like I have a steady job. I don't want to give that up for something I don't know that, like, I don't even know if it'll actually pay off. That may be why you're fighting it, because it's so uncertain. Like, it's so, like, something you have no idea what it's going to turn out to be. And then you have your, this card was the connection. So it says a special connection will open doors for you on your path. It may be a partner, mentor, a client, or a helpful friend. Didn't I say that with the thinking man, that you may be in a, like, some of this may be a relationship? Because the thinking man from this particular deck always makes me think of a relationship. And then you got impatience under the bottom deck. So it says it takes time to build an empire. Your desire for instant results can hinder your ability to make good decisions. Yes, for some of you, you may, one of the reasons why you don't want to do whatever this creative endeavor is because it is going to take some time for it to take off. It is going to take some time for it to move into something beautiful. And you're like, you may be saying to yourself, what do I do in the meantime? Like, yeah, that's all well and good, but like, I still need to take care of myself. Still need to take care of my family. Your spirit guides and your ancestors are coming through to say that you're going to be fully protected. But something I'm seeing, there's a meme where there's a guy like holding on to a rope and his hand is like red, like it's swollen from holding on to the rope so tight. Spirit is saying you need to let go and release the outcome of what this could or could not be, because the longer you hold on to this, the longer you hold on to the outcome, you're just fighting the inevitable. Like, listen, this is going to happen whether you want it to or not, because something about this is like moving you on to a new path. But you have to, I think part of this is also you need to have compassion for yourself. You may be a little bit hesitant because things didn't work. Like I said, I think I said that before. Things didn't work out. You trust the spirit and things didn't work out. And you're like, I don't know if I want to do this now because like I have a family and like what's going to happen to me and my family if I do this? And spirit is saying you are fully protected. Like, don't like you. There may be something, like I'm seeing the Tower card in my head. There may be something that may happen suddenly and you may feel betrayed by spirit, but spirit is saying that it is for your good. This is only happening for your best and your highest good, but they're asking you to have a little bit more compassion with yourself, okay? So let's get you some Oracle, Green Witch's Oracle cards. Spirit, can we get 2 cards for pile number 2, please? You're fully protected, pile number 2. You really are. Okay. And then you have snow. It says rest, contemplation. Yep. You're in a lot of contemplation and Spirit is asking you to rest, right? This is preordained. Whatever this is, it is preordained. And wow, you have basil, prosperity, luck, love. For some of you, this is about love for sure. And this is also a confirmation. Spirit is telling you, you're going to be prosperous in this endeavor. You don't have to worry about that. And then your bottom deck energy is mushroom. It says recycling, breaking down problems. Yeah. Like you're really like, Spirit understands that you have a problem with trying to do this right now because you don't understand how it's going to turn out. You don't know what this is going to be. But Spirit is telling you, I'm giving you confirmation. Not only will you be able to rest in this endeavor, because it may even be something that you truly, truly enjoy doing. Some of you, this may happen around the winter time as well. Or you may find yourself like truly resting around wintertime. Some of you, you are coming out of rest. And instead of going into action and going into spring, you're going into like contemplation. You're overthinking it. And Spirit is saying, you're going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. Like I know I keep saying that, but Spirit is saying everything is going to be fine. You're overthinking something that you can't control. You're just going to have to let it be at this point. Okay. And then you have the basil, prosperity, and luck. Spirit is telling you that you are going to have prosperity and luck in love, in business, but you need to have a little bit more compassion for yourself. Okay. Let's get you one card from the Isis Oracle deck to see if there's any more divine messages, divine feminine messages that we need to hear. Let's get you one card. Can we get one card, please, Spirit? Thank you. So you have the Miracle of Isis. It says miraculous healing of the goddess. And then the bottom deck energy was rising sun. It says divine solar child reborn. So I'm going to read the Miracle of Isis out of the book. Okay. So the Miracle of Isis card says, the Lady Isis wished to lift the load that has become too heavy for you to heal on your own, beloved. Yeah, it's too heavy for you, okay? She cannot take something away from you if you are not. Didn't I say I was seeing the meme where that you was holding on too tight like the meme and the hand was like red? Listen to what this says. It says she cannot take something away from you if you are not willing to release it to her. However, okay, you gotta release it. Release for healing means trust. Yes, you got to trust in your spiritual team. Letting go of attachments to outcome. Didn't I say that? Letting go of attachments to outcome and how that outcome might be achieved, and opening to the divine genius of healing that seeks to impress the perfection of divine love through you now. To hand something over for healing, especially when it has been a long term of persistent difficulty or simply seems to be too great or overwhelming to be healed, takes a radical change of mind and heart. To dare to hope without becoming attached to how or when something can happen, to surrender without forgetting to follow your intuition and act accordingly, to trust even though you may have been disappointed or hurt in the past. Didn't I say that? You tried in the past, you gave Spirit a chance and you felt like Spirit did not come through for you. You were hurt in the past. It says all these things take skill and courage. Spirit, it's almost like Spirit is saying, I get it. I understand that it's scary, and I understand it took courage to even do what you did back then, okay? It says, yet these are the requirements for us to surrender into the great healing of divine love. Lady Isis speaks through this oracle and says to you that recovery from trauma and emotional healing is not only possible, but if you are willing, it can happen for you now. No matter the depth of grief, loss, despair, fear, or anger, love can and will absorb all. This oracle is also an indication that a spiritual gift or awakening of deep healing ability at a new level are coming your way. Keep your eyes and heart open and let go of doubt or fear about opening up to a new level of proficiency. Dedicate your work to divine love and trust that it will flow through you stronger now. You are capable of great work when you trust in your own heart and the love of the divine flowing through you with total surrender. Pile number 2, listen. there could definitely be some spiritual gifts that's coming for you, and it may be part of your creative endeavor, maybe part of what you need to do, like your spiritual path is like this new gift that's coming in for you, but you really do need to trust. You need to let go of the outcome of what this could or might be, or like, hey, spirit, I did this before and it didn't work out. Like, why do you want me to do it again? And the reason why they want you to do it again is because you have to learn how to trust. You may be going through this particular situation because spirit is asking you to trust more in them. Spirit is asking you to let go. And I can tell you that this message is also for me, because I'm listening to it and I can feel myself trying to resist it, but I know there is no resistance here, right? There cannot be any resistance, because it's just going to make it harder. The more I resist, the harder it's going to be. Okay. Let's get you, actually I want to shuffle these. We're going to get you a meditative message for all of us to see what meditative message spirit may have for us right now. Okay. I know it's hard to let go, pile number 2, but we got to do it. It's not just you, it's me too. I know I have to let go. All right, let's get you one card from this deck. Oh. Now, this was already flipped over. It says, embrace stillness in a world filled with constant movement and noise. Seeking moments of stillness allows you to create a sanctuary for emotional healing. Didn't I say something about going to your altar, writing down, like you may have, like your mind may be running a mile a minute or something like that? Yeah. Stillness is going to be key for you. Pile number 2, I'm going to put it back in here because it was already over, but I think it was definitely meant to be seen. Stillness is definitely something that you need to practice, like being alone, being by yourself. And I'm actually over here looking at a hermit card that's on the side of the deck. So a lot of alone time may be something that's good for you, but also sitting in silence may be like golden for you. That way you can hear the messages that spirit is trying to give you. Okay. We're going to keep shuffling and see what else we get. Spirit, can we get one other card? Okay, that one flipped out, but then flipped back over, so we're going to keep going. Okay, that's way too many cards. Okay, let's keep going. Can we get one card for pile number 2, please, Spirit? Pile number 2, you got cards flying everywhere. They're flying everywhere. Can we get one card, please? Spirit for pile number 2. Just a meditative message, something we need to hear. Thank you. Oh, this card came out again. It says radiate love. It says radiating love helps foster a ripple effect of healing and growth that extends to those around you. Yeah, some of you, you're actually going to be like, you're actually going to be finding love. I think, yeah, with the thinking man, you're actually going to be finding love. For others of you, spirit is asking you to, wow. Wait until you see the bottom deck energy. Anyway, spirit is asking you to radiate love, like this compassion card right here talks about, right? Radiating love for yourself. This is specifically like radiating love for you, understanding that you are on a journey. This thing will take time. You will have connections that'll come in. Yeah, this card talks about love as well. So some of you, this could specifically be about a love connection that's coming in. You need to be a little bit more patient with yourself, have a little bit more compassion, speak a little bit kindly to yourself, okay? And then your bottom deck energy is let go of control. As you relinquish the need to control every outcome, you free yourself from stress and anxiety, enabling emotional wounds to heal. Yeah, some of you, we really got to let go of the reins, pile number 2. Like, this is definitely my pile. I know it for sure. We have to let go of the reins. We have to release the things that we're holding on to that no longer serve us, right? In the time when we had these things, right, I'm sure at one point they did serve a purpose, but they no longer serve a purpose. And in situations like this, you want to do like a cord cutting. And I don't mean like, you know, like that version of a cord cutting, like you burn a candle, like not you burn a candle and then you put the string on. I'm not saying that. I'm saying release yourself from these attachments that have held you down too long. Maybe that's some of the things that you may want to focus on in meditation, is releasing. And you got this butterfly here. So transformation is definitely coming for us, pile number 2. Because I know this is my pile. This is all this is all me. Like, I know this is for somebody else, but this pile is definitely me. So pile number 2, This is all of the messages that I have for you. I am sending you so much love. Like, seriously, I'm going to be praying for the both of us that we let go of the things that no longer serve us, but we also speak a little bit more kindly to ourselves and have compassion. Okay. So I'll see you next time in your next reading. Bye.